Hello everyone and welcome to Motorsport Radio. My name is Mason Ruff and today we are joined by former English karting champion and upcoming star Caden McQueen. How you doing, Caden?
Hello mate, you alright?
I'm good, thanks mate. Most importantly, with everything that's going on at the moment, how is everyone at home safe and everyone all right?
Yeah, no, so far so good. Everyone's okay, which is the main thing really, everyone's staying safe.
Yeah, so at the moment, as everyone's surely aware, we've got no racing at all in the current COVID guidelines. If we do end up getting racing later in the year, do you have any plans already in place to go in, or are you just looking to wing it?
We've got plans. We'll end up doing the British Championships again, mainly because I think obviously that's quite a big thing in the UK karting. We're going to attend the European Championships again this year. Hopefully this year, now we've learnt all the tracks and been there before, we can go back and win it.
Yeah, so you mentioned just starting to move towards more European sort of championships. You are still mentioned you're frequently going to be entering the British events. Are you currently trying to make the transition to European international full time, or are you sort of going to just dip into it to get a taster for it?
Well, I think the British and the European stuff, I think it's really hard to do both properly, especially with the team being so busy with championships and myself being busy with other championships and trying to help the other drivers in the team, etc. But I think what we're going to do this year is I think we've had like a learning year in the senior. This year we go for the win in both European and the British campaign, which I think is possible. I think we've got a good car underneath us. I've got a good engine builder and everything looks to be set for this year to go perfectly. So hopefully it does.
Yeah, so you're talking about the team there. So you're currently representing Madcock UK, and you've been with them for a good few years now, and we've also been with you branching into Europe. Is that a partnership you're looking to continue, or are you looking to sort of branch into a different discipline and move up the ranks?
I think over the years, they've proven themselves to me that they're capable of doing a good job, and we work well as a team, which is really good, especially in a sport that's important to work together. I think at the moment I'm 100% going to stay with them, mainly because, like I said, they're really good at what they do. They have an understanding of everything that needs to be done. And yeah, no, I'm really happy with the amount of effort that they're putting in as a team.
Yeah, so yes, continuing on that, last year with the limited racing you were able to do, you did do quite solidly in both European and the UK, with a 7th in the IAMA European Championship and then a 6th in the British karting. Did you think that, how did you really feel that year impacted you with the extended off-season we had due to COVID?
Well, I think, so with all of the other drivers that are in the seniors, they've done it for many years, so they kind of had a little bit of a boost for me because we weren't able to get as much testing as we wanted in. So especially for the European rounds, it was really hard for us to be at the front straight away, mainly because everyone else had done testing and they'd done it before, whereas me, I was struggling because I've never been to the track before. But no, like I said earlier, I think this year we've got it all set out in place, so we should be ready.
Yeah, so you're saying about the transition from juniors to senior karting. Is there a sort of a difference in training aspects you're having to do now, and is that also changing even more with everything being locked down during the national guidelines?
Well, I feel like in the senior category, it's really important that you understand the engine side of things, the carburation, and I think that's a big step up from the junior, because there's a lot more adjusting to do while on track. And that's, I think, where we fell behind a little bit last year. I think everyone had a little bit more of an idea on the carburation settings and stuff like that, and when to adjust it on the track. Towards the end of the year, we got the hang of it, and we was able to do that. But I also think the bigger difference was the tyres from the junior to the senior. So the senior tyres are a little bit softer, which it changes the whole balance of the car. So that was another thing to really get used to.
Yeah, so you spoke about the mechanical differences. What about the physical and mental sort of changes you've had to make? So is there anything different you had to make to some gym changes or do some increased training at home?
The training at home obviously has increased, and I think that's purely because the tyre is a lot grippier. So you've kind of got to be able to hold the car and maintain the car throughout the whole of the race. And it's also a lot heavier to drive because also you've got a lot more weight on it. So you have kind of got to be really physically strong. And mentally, I think it is a really big difference because whereas in the junior, you kind of had a little bit of leverage because some engines were better than others. My engines were fairly good, but not the best. And with the senior, it's really frustrating because sometimes you want to be able to catch someone in front and rely on the engine, say, down the straight. And it is really, really hard because every single engine in the senior is really similar. So it's more about the drive and like I said before, because they've had a year, maybe 2 years, and some say like Danny Curl and Oliver Hodgson, they've had at least a good 5-6 years more than me. They're able to deal with that better. But for me, it was kind of a bit of a different change for me. So like I had to adapt to that. I had to adapt to driving it instead of relying on something else.
Yeah, so you're saying about the age differences in the field, still being 17, you're probably going to be one of the youngest drivers on the grid. Is that sort of bringing a different sort of experience factor you probably haven't seen going from track to track, or are you looking to work to your strengths at the tracks you do know?
Well, I think at the moment, like you said, we are one of the youngest people on the grid, and obviously a lot of people have been to other tracks and stuff like that. So it'd be good to go do everything that they've done, learn everything they've done, and be able to challenge them everywhere we go.
Yeah, so during August of last year, you were officially announced as the driver coach for Zipkart UK. Are you already starting to look towards the next generation, or are you looking to just sort of aid other drivers coming up to potentially work with you in the future?
I think for my mentality, I really like helping other drivers, whether they're younger or older than me. As my team would tell you and everyone in my team, I spend a lot of time with every driver individually, bringing them up and doing on-track and off-track tuition with them. Also, other teams, sometimes I go help them out, but the Zipkart was purely because when I was coming up through the cadet stage for the Honda and the IAME, they helped me a lot. Obviously, I was their works driver, so kind of a favour that I've owed them, and also because I do really want to see their drivers be able to be successful.
So is there any drivers coming up at the moment you're working with that you should probably say they're one to watch out for, or are you sort of a mix of everyone?
A mix of everyone. Everyone's good. Everyone is improving dramatically, and it's really good to see. My teammate and senior, he proved himself a lot last year, and it almost got a bit awkward. I've been working with him for quite a few years, and he nearly beat me. But no, hats off to him, and he's been doing really well. That's Kalai Atkins. He done the European campaign with me. Unfortunately, he didn't do the British. That would have been really good for him to see him do that, because I think he would have been able to do a good job. But in the European campaign, he smashed it for his first year. Obviously, he's in the same position as me, hasn't learned the tracks and everything. But he done a really good job last year. So I think he's really one to watch for the future.
So you're saying about multiple drivers that don't know some of these European tracks. Is there a certain difference you're looking for compared to the British and the European tracks, or are they both sort of similar in the way they go?
Some of them, you kind of have to be, you have to kind of look at it and approach the track with a different approach, because some of them that are really grippy, and it's not like a British track where you can throw the cut into the corners and slide and stuff like that. You have to be really smooth, and it's important to be smooth because the tracks are a lot grippier and they've got a lot more grip down, and obviously other countries are normally hotter. You can't overheat the tyres, and you can't slide the kart in because then you overheat the tyres. So you've kind of got to adapt your driving style to the different tracks, because some of them in Europe aren't as grippy as others, so you can kind of drive it towards like a British time, but way. But you kind of do have to adapt to each track.
Well then, Caden, we thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us, and we do wish you very good luck on your racing this year, and we do indeed look forward to watching you. Thank you, mate.
Not an issue. Thank you.
Thank you, mate. Goodbye.